What is up, freaks and geeks, and welcome back to Battle Axe Entertainment. As you can see, this is a total red dive-in. I don't know why I just called it that, but we're going all red today. I wore a red hat and a red Deadpool shirt. Don't have a Daredevil shirt, but yes, today we are going to review Season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. So let's jump right into it. Now, I've never done a review on a full series, like a season of a TV show, so this is a first for that. But, I'm not gonna make it an hour-long video. It's gonna be just a quick run-through. What I liked, what I didn't like about the show, and what I think and hope is coming next in the future for Season 2. First things first, let's start off with the good shit. Let's start off with what did I like about Daredevil Born Again? Well, the first episode, mostly. I loved that episode, especially how it's just right out of the gate, Daredevil and Bullseye going at it on the roof. Daredevil finally caves and feeds into his not murderous, but his need to murder his enemies. Because we've seen in the old show he really wanted to kill Kingpin a few times, and he always stopped himself from doing it. But as you guys know, and spoiler alert, by the way, everything in this video is spoilers. Bullseye shoots Foggy, and that's what completely drives Matt off of the edge. And he just throws him off the fucking roof. And I was like, damn. Okay, then. The only thing, it was just kind of weird how fast everything happened. But I was a fan of that, I liked that aspect that it kicked off right off the bat and, just went for it and gave us like a really crazy opening to show you that this show is going to be, there's going to be heavy stakes in it. People could die and Foggy's dead. Or is he? But no, I mean, it is what it is. And I just think that the way they kicked off that first episode was the right way to kick off this new Daredevil series, especially to like new fans who might not have even seen the old like OG show, the first 3 seasons. And I remember when the show was being announced, they said that it was going to be kind of a soft reboot, and I'm glad that they didn't go that route, because we already have such, and this is another thing I like, by the way, is such a good 3 first seasons of Daredevil with all these established characters. You got Kingpin, Punisher, Bullseye, Elektra. We don't see her in Born Again, but we got all these established characters already. Why would you just go and reboot that? That was like a stupid idea, I think. And I'm glad they didn't go that route. I'm glad it's just technically a season 4. I mean, that's what it is to me. People might have different opinions on that, and that's okay, but to me it was Daredevil season 4, and I really liked how it was that, because like I said, when you have all these established characters already, why reboot it? Especially if you're just going to use the same cast anyway. You might as well just continue off of the great story that has already been laid out in the blueprint. So that's another thing I like. What's another thing I like about Daredevil Born Again? I like how they brought back Frank, the Punisher. He is probably my favorite Marvel character, besides maybe Spider-Man or Hulk, maybe. But he's on a different level, so I can't really compare Frank Castle to Spider-Man or Hulk. And Daredevil is probably one of my top favorites as well. That's pretty much, I read comics as a kid, but most of the comics I read were Daredevil and Spider-Man. So I like how they brought back the Punisher. I like how they use the whole thing with the police, the Punisher cops, the corrupt Punisher wannabes, and I like how they brought that aspect into it. And just seeing Frank Castle back was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, since Frank Castle is like my favorite Marvel character, the whole show I was just kind of like, where's Frank? Where's the Punisher? Give me Punisher, you know? And I get it, it's Daredevil, you know, it's not Frank Castle's show, but to me, every time he's shows up, he steals the show completely, and you just want to see more of him instead of you just want to see more of him instead of I don't know, the whole show. We see, I'm kind of starting to already verge into what I don't like, but yeah, I like that they brought the Punisher back. Yeah, let's get into the stuff I don't like. First of all, Bullseye's costume design. I think it's ugly. I think it's stupid with the brown belts. Like, the blue and the black is awesome, but then the brown leather straps, like, completely just threw it off for me. I wasn't a fan of that. What I think they should have done is I think they should have had Bullseye kind of take one of Daredevil's old costumes and, like, modify it to look like him, because in the comics they technically have like the same sort of costume, just a spandex full suit with a cutout on the mouth and like a flat head. I think that's what they should have gone with. But Bullseye kicked ass in this series. I think he was more menacing and evil than he was even than season 3, which I thought was pretty cool, because in the comic books Bullseye is like a piece of shit. Honestly, he's an asshole. He's one of the worst villains out there, and like he is very evil. And I think they did a pretty good job capturing that with this new season, or this new show, whatever you want to call it. But the next thing I didn't like is just kind of Matt the whole time. He's just crying the whole show, And I get it, he lost Foggy, but by the time we get to episode 2, where I think it's like a year after Foggy's death, Matt's retired from Daredevil, and he's just kind of being a hypocrite to himself from the old show, when Foggy was constantly telling him, we can figure this out through the law, we can get Kingpin through the law, you don't have to go out and be a vigilante. And I think it makes sense, he did that to honor Foggy. He didn't want to put on the suit anymore because Foggy didn't like him to be Daredevil, because it put him in a lot of danger. But the thing I don't like about Daredevil in this new show is he's just kind of a whiny bitch the whole time. Or is it just me? I don't know. It's just constantly like just dragging his ass along and fucking no smiling or whatever. Like, and let me get something straight. Like I said, I read a lot of Daredevil comics as a kid. I know Matt Murdock is a very dark and depressing character. But Jesus Christ, we're talking about a TV show. I mean, give the guy a break for a minute and just kind of give him something that makes him happy, And his new girlfriend, Heather, the therapist, she made him kind of happy, but he's still just constantly bitching and moaning about, oh, the city's so effed up and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, well, put on the fucking mask, dude. Like, this is what we came here to see. I don't want to see Matt Murdock crying all day, I want to see Daredevil kicking ass, taking care of business. And personally, I don't feel like we got enough of that. And it is the first season, and like, I'm trying to weigh out the good and the bad here, because it makes sense. He lost his best friend. He doesn't want to be Daredevil to honor his friend anymore. So I get it. I do. But it's a superhero show, We came here to see the superhero. If you went to a Batman movie and Bruce Wayne retired as Batman and he's just moping the fuck around Wayne Manor all day, like, does that sound like the coolest Batman movie? No, it sounds boring in my opinion. And that's on to the next thing I don't like about the show, is it was just kind of boring. And back to how I said, one of the things I like the most about the show is how it kicked off, and how it it opened with such a banger, and then after that it's just dragging and dragging and dragging, and then episode 4 comes and you see Frank Castle and you're like, oh, here we go, maybe we're about to see some shit. No, Matt just starts crying in his face, and that's all we see. And Frank's just pissed at him for crying and pretty much calls him a pussy, because he is being a pussy. And I don't know. I don't want to gripe too hard. I did like the show. I don't want people to think I just made this video just to bitch about it, but there is more cons and pros for me personally about this show. And I think that's one of the main things is just the boringness and the dragginess of it. I want to see more Daredevil. We're good on Matt Murdock. We got 3 seasons of him moping around and fucking, doing that, and like I'm good on that now. Like just be Daredevil. That's one thing I liked about season 3 of Daredevil the most, is that he didn't care about Matt Murdock anymore. He knew exactly who he had to be, and that was in his heart was Daredevil. And as a Daredevil fan, that's just kind of what I want to see. I want to see Daredevil. I could give a shit less about Matt and his little fucking lawyer life, And it does play into the crime fighting aspect, but in this show, it just didn't to me. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, it was kind of boring, and but overall, the show was pretty good. Kingpin. Let's talk about Kingpin. That's another thing. What the fuck are we doing with Kingpin? They softened that big boy up, in my opinion, in this show. He was not intimidating. He was not scary. And I get it. He needs to chill out. He's becoming the mayor. He can't be running around smashing people's heads off with a car door no more. But Kingpin in the comics, he makes this Kingpin look like a soft, wet bitch, in my opinion, to be honest with you. But that's another thing I didn't like about Kingpin, is just his constant, he kind of just sitting there listening to everyone else tell him what to do. And it's like, that is not Kingpin. Kingpin makes his own decisions, mayor or not mayor. He's the bad guy. He's the fucking heavy, and I just didn't see that. And like, Vincent D'Onofrio is a phenomenal Kingpin, the best Kingpin, besides, whatever that Daredevil movie was. That was a good Kingpin. I forgot that dude's name. Was it the dude who played Debo from Friday? I can't remember. No, it wasn't. Maybe it was. Tell me in the comments. Anyway, Vincent D'Onofrio is just wonderful as Kingpin. Awesome, especially in the older Daredevil episodes. He was just so menacing and scary and huge, and like, it looked like he shrunk down a little bit. He's not as big, and he's just not intimidating no more. So that's another gripe I have with the show. I think my favorite part of the show, honestly, and it's because I'm a Punisher geek, Punisher fanboy, was that whole ending, the last couple episodes with Frank and the cops. I thought that storyline was really what kind of saved the show for me personally, because if none of that was in it, I think the show would just fall off for me. And another thing that I didn't like about this show, which shout out to the channel Screen Crush. Yeah, Screen Crush. On that show, they kind of explain how everyone in the city is talking about how bad the city's getting and just how shitty it's getting, and then we don't see none of that. It's just boring. We don't see any of it. It's all on a fucking phone or like a news report from BB Urich, Ben Urich's niece, and dude, we even get the swordsman in this, and we don't see him do anything. We see him fighting a dude for like 10 seconds, and it's on a shitty like phone recording from like a couple blocks down or something. Like, I don't know. It's just for a Daredevil action-packed, and they said this is the most violent one yet. No, sir. I think season 2 was the most violent Daredevil. Did I say Punisher a second ago? I think I did. I don't know. I'm just thinking about the Punisher. He made the show better, I think. But yeah, the whole cops thing with the Punisher, that was badass. Okay, that was like top tier shit. Especially when he comes out of the shadows and they're all standing there with their goofy fucking kindergarten painted skulls, and Frank walks out with the real skull, and they're like, "Oh, holy shit, it's Frank. That's actually him." And they're like, "We just want to talk," and he doesn't say a word. He just starts killing them all, and I thought that's what I want to see from Daredevil. I want to see Daredevil quit being a pussy. He needs to like get into it and really start becoming Daredevil like more, And season 2 is coming out, and that is definitely what we are going to get, which I'm happy about. And like I said, guys, this is just like a soft review. there's just more pros, or there's just more cons than pros in this show for me personally. Um, it's not one I'd go back and watch again, honestly, which sucks because I've watched the first 3 seasons of Daredevil multiple times, all of them, all 3 seasons, and yeah, Born Again just didn't have that rewatch value to me at all. I don't really want to watch it ever again unless I need to catch up when season 2 comes out and to get a fresh pair of eyes. And maybe one day in the future we'll come back and I'll watch it with a fresh set of eyes and I'll have different opinions on it. But for now, this is just my opinion, and you guys can disagree with it. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a hater and harp on it. It's not a bad show at all. It's not. It's actually a really good show. But to me, when you compare it to the first 3 seasons, it's just lame and boring and it drags. And another thing is at the end of every goddamn episode, something major would happen or some fight would happen, and then the next episode would start and that would just be a complete afterthought. Like, it would not carry out anything. And like I was getting really sick of that. At the end of every episode, it would be something big is happening. So you're like, okay, the show's actually going to go somewhere now. Nope. Something big just happens and then we see it on the iPhone fucking BB report. So that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I didn't cover. But no, I do like the show. Like I said, I won't rewatch it, but it's not bad. Okay, I've seen way worse. She-Hulk, terrible. Moon Knight was great. Loved that show. Maybe I'll do a review on that show next, actually, because I think Moon Knight, and that's the weird thing, is like, that's not getting a season 2. A lot of people hated on that one, and I'm just like, how? Like, Moon Knight was awesome. I thought that whole series was just badass. I loved it, and I think it blows Daredevil Born Again right out the fucking lake. It really does to me. For me, this is my personal opinion, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I did not cover? I don't think so. I think that's the whole season 1 review of Daredevil Born Again. Overall, it was just boring, dragged, had some good moments in it, but overall, the whole show as in the entirety was just kind of it could do better. And I'm very excited to see season 2, to see this hero army build up. And we saw Frank escape from Kingpin's cage at the end. Or maybe he just broke a dude's arm. We don't know if he escaped or not. But we know that him and the swordsmen are probably going to team up and escape. And I'm hoping that's what the Punisher special will be. Either that, or it'll show us what happened between Punisher Season 2 and this show. Something like that. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks for tuning in and listening. And again, if you're a fan of this show and you really loved it, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hate on the show so much. It's like, I can keep repeating myself. It's not that bad of a show, but to me, it's just kind of boring and bland. And they hyped it really, really high when it was coming out. They said it was the most intense, violent, action-packed Daredevil we're going to get, and it was not that at all. And the first episode was, a couple of the moments at the end were too, but at the same time, it's just still, I just didn't like it. It's not that I even didn't like it. I liked it. It's just, it was very slow-paced. But I'm going to quit repeating myself. And thanks for tuning in, guys. So, yeah. Peace out there, freaks and geeks. I think we'll do Moon Knight next because that sounds like a good idea. Maybe that or the Punisher series. We'll review season 1 and 2 in one video. So, yep. Goodbye.